Yo, 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 yo. Hello, people. Am I excited? You have no idea. I have not been able to sleep because of how excited I am and how much I know this is going to play out. Let's get right into this. Hate making long videos, as you know. Want to wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Get over all this stuff. So I want to go over a couple things. We made our video here explaining what I think is going to happen. I also had to re-release my video I made on June 23rd saying we're going to go much higher for my old account because YouTube just ghosted my account and I can't get it back. So I have to make a new account and that kind of sucks. But yeah, we'll start with that. And I also remember I forgot to say some things on that or make a new video over here. I had a whole bunch of things to say. I just want to go over them real quick. Something really cool happened on this day, June 30th. First of all, you see the neutral print right here? We always talk about neutral prints are extreme inflection points to the upside or downside, and usually the impulse wave happens the day after, which specifically was this, or you usually get a red day, a filler, and then the up move to the upside if it's going to go up. It could also go down. It's more common to go up. And the last time it had one of those was right there, right before it got cucked. And last time it had one right before that was right here, right before the UVXY glitch trade of May 2021. Like literally perfect. I think there was one more neutral print or maybe not, but that glitch trade on UVXY down to 4.34, which stabilizes the market to the upside. Then it starts to decelerate, as you can see on the MACD. I'll just show you real quick. So right when it had that glitch trade, right there, starts to decelerate, right? Goes higher, but it's decelerating. People don't realize that, why people catches people off guard. Then you get a neutral print right here, rolls over, and you get a neutral print right here. And I was like, literally gonna happen. And we were screaming bloody murder. That week, we thought that we were going to sell off violently, almost 3%, and then go straight up. We sold off literally exactly 3% in 5 minutes, but we didn't go exactly straight up. It's very, very, very toxic these 2 days that we didn't go straight up. I was very aggravated watching this, seeing this much energy in the market, and it's just kind of just chilling there. It's very aggravating, but this neutral candle is extremely bullish, coiled out, ripped. Anything else? Also, you need to realize that this move right here was a bear trap, and people calling for like a retrace and a further down move and things like that. When you have a violent move that happened here on July 25th, that went straight up into like the last 10 minutes, like a huge gotcha candle, boom, and then fell and retested the 50 and then exploded up, filled the gap, and activated, you usually do not fill this. If it was any other time in history, 6 months ago, a year ago, 3 years ago, I would say there's an insanely low probability that we come back down to here. But because this year is this year, I wouldn't take it off the table. But I really don't think we come back down to 400. I don't even think we come back after this week. When we start ripping above 420, I don't think we even come back down to 405, maybe 410. But even that, I think, is a stretch. I think once we break above 420, 420 will be the support. We go up there and then we retest maybe 420. We go below it briefly for that 1 day in early September and then rip back up. But that's far from now. What I wanted to show you guys was something that is extremely specific. I was looking for something at the top of COVID, back at the top of COVID, that marked the top, because I was expecting a major top and a major crash. So I was looking for something that would represent that. Something, a neutral print, a 1 minute million, multiple million volume print, glitch trades, dark pool trades, something, right? And right here at the bottom of this drop here on June 30th, we got a glitch trade here and a glitch trade here, a double glitch trade, pre-market and post-market. And we haven't gotten that since the top of COVID, except it was in the opposite direction. The double glitch trade went down at the top of COVID, and this went up. 8 days later, the market started to crash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ninth day was the bottom. Boom. 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 I literally made my videos saying an inverse COVID move is going to happen. Like here. And then we get something that's literally exactly what happened with COVID in the opposite direction. And we have a COVID-like move to the upside so far. It's like so unbelievably perfect. I'll literally show you. Let's go back in time. This was the top of COVID. There it is. February 12th, 2020. Glitch trade, glitch trade. When this happened, the next day I doubled up my short. This happened, the next day I doubled up my short. How funny is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so the 7th day, it fell out of the sky. How funny is that? And then right here, double glitch trade to the upside. It's the exact same thing. It's the exact coil. It's the same pattern, just in reverse. I literally called it, literally see it, and it's something that's so cool that represents something very specific. And what it represents is it's like an air pocket. Like it never should have gapped down here. I was actually really tilted seeing it gap down this far. When it happened, they said this is definitely the most toxic day of the entire year because it overextended so far after this coiled move, after having that explosive move higher. It was so overextended. I was so aggravated, and then even more aggravated on that drop this day here. But yeah, it's because it's like an air pocket. Glitch trades to me are pre-market, post-market are air pockets of momentum, meaning it never should get there. It never should have went there, but it went there anyway. And then the kind of the momentum bleeds through. It gets like soaked through, and you'll see it a lot on earnings where stock is bullish and then they sell off on earnings, and then you'll get like an instant glitch trade higher, like all pre-market back up to like where it dropped from, and you're like, well, what the fuck is that? And that's what it usually means to me, that it never should have dropped, and it's kind of like stabilizing up. So that's what it is. A drop never should have dropped, and so it stabilizes up. Massive momentum to the upside's coming. So it's really cool. I just want to point that out. So I want to go over that. This to me looks like the opposite of this. 1, 2, 3. I actually watched another YouTube video that explains this. Almost the same way that I'm seeing it as well. So you see 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's like patterns of threes here. 2, 3, then you get the spike up, and then you get the spike up, and then the 9th day, the 3rd of 3rd, it spikes up and then rolls over. 1, 2, 3, got rejected with that bear trap. It was a very weird coil that we spoke about. Got coiled out, and it looked like it was failing, but it was also looking like a bear trap, because if it was failing, it should have just rolled over, but it wasn't rolling over. It was holding up. So this is exactly what it looked like it was doing. We wanted to see a gap up. We got the gap up. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This entire move here was rolling over, but spiking up. It was rolling over, but stabilizing up, because it was stabilizing the momentum to the upside. Look how fat these candles are. You're not getting, why are you getting full green candles and then a huge rollover? Because the momentum is severely compressed on the larger wave cycle. So you get this, and then you can come straight back up. Look at all the open reds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Huge compression down here. Another thing that shows how we're going to go up. So 1, 2, 3. So what would you expect to see here? You'd want to see the opposite. You'd want to see it goes up. It's going up, but spiking down. And that's exactly what we're getting. Goes up, spikes down, gaps down. Spiking up, gets crushed down. Spiking up, gaps down. It's doing the exact opposite. This one broke to the downside. This one's going to break to the upside. What happens on the 9th day is Wednesday. It's a CPI print. We've been talking about it for weeks now, that we're expecting something like that, and then CPI would be the trigger. CPI is going to come in lower It's just a matter of which way does it go, how high does it go, and the momentum in the market itself, to me, shows, again, everything we've been talking about, that we're going to rip to the upside. I think we're going to hit the 200-day moving average this week. At least 4.5% higher. At least 4.5% higher. And then we have this line right here. Then things get hairy. I mean, you could tighten this up a little bit. This, you can even do this, because when this isn't a trend line, see how it gaps up, and see how it kind of comes up and gets hard rejected, does this little hook, looks like a J kind of thing, backwards J, does this hook and then does this hard rejection. Generally, when you get hard rejections at pivot points, the trend line is not the tippy top. The trend line is not like that or that. It's usually something like this, which is exactly that. It's usually something like this, gaps above it, it instantly comes back down, and then does like this hard rejection into it. And if we do it that way, that makes a lot of sense. There was a very, very weird movement here at the end of the day. I remember we talked about it because I got screwed on my calls briefly here. See how we were so bullish and then we got hard rejected here? Went down 0.3% in a straight line. It was felt really weird. It was like super coiled, but felt very, very fragile. Something was off, right? It wasn't a healthy move. And that was exactly it. So yeah, look at that. Learned something live on the stream. Got rejected again, and got rejected again. That's a triple rejection ending with a violent move. This was made an alarm here, and we missed the alarm by like a penny right there. So this might have actually filled the alarm that I wanted to get filled. We don't know yet, okay? But if this breaks, I no longer care about this. It's basically the 200-day moving average. I think we're going to go to it. I also think that if we're in a bullish trend, which you normally do when you get to major moving averages, especially the 200 doesn't behave as a hard resistance. It behaves as like a very loose resistance and support, where once you go to it, you blow through it, and then you kind of come back, because it's such a slow moving average. You're not going to hit it and snap off of it like the 20 or the 50 or the 9 or things like that. You kind of bleed through it. So if this is bullish and we're going up to 460 all-time highs, which I think we are, you'd want to bleed through it. And where does it go? At least 440. Again, I think we top the end of August, most likely the first week of September, because GameStop earnings is the last day of August and it opens on September 1st. It also coincides with the monthly print early in the month, so that you should have a nice strong blow off high at the start of the month, which helps stabilize momentum for the print of September, meaning you can have a huge up move at the start of the month and then go down a lot, and it's actually considered an up move. It's weird how it does that, and I think that's exactly what we're doing in the market right now. We have this really weird coil. We talked about this with the DMIs, how this down move was up and this up move was down, and this move was up and this move was down. Like, it's this weird ass coil that we have right now, and that would, again, that would kind of help substantiate what we've been doing. It's just the other side of the year doing the exact same thing. So that's one of my theories, that we're going to gap up big early September, the first week, and you're looking for a top wherever it is, 440 to 460-ish, wherever that is above the 200-day. And then from there, I want to see a volatility event in the first week September to somewhere in the middle of September, September 8th to September 20th into the Fed day, somewhere around there. I don't know how low we go. I don't know. First we have to see how high we go, okay? If we go high, right? Which we will, please. It's just about how far we get kicked back. I would love to see something where we go from like 455 to 420 and we get gapped down to like 415 one morning and then close like 425. So like the bears cheer. This drop has to make the bears stay bearish. This drop has to make every bear in the world say, haha, I told you it's a bear market rally. That's what you want to see. You want to see the headlines for it. You want to see the positioning for it. You want to see all the people who were cocky about it. You want to see people on social media say, haha, like everybody who basically has been a bear. You want to see them coming out of the woodworks on that move coming down. And then you know psychologically that it's there, then you're looking for technical. So if the technical move drops and does that and you see the activation, it will be huge, the activation, because if it activates with this pattern, it's going to all-time highs within 3 weeks. So you're looking at a 15% move, 18% move within a 3-week period, middle of September to early October. So the activation has to be gigantic. So psychology's there, you're looking for the activator, but that's in a couple of weeks. I want to see if I wanted to look at this. So again, we're doing the opposite momentum of this, and we should get the opposite move of this, which was, how much was this? 12%. Even if we just do a 1-to-1 ratio. 463? Yeah, I don't think we're getting that high. We could. I don't think we're getting that high on this first run. We could. We'll see. But you see how 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The middle part's higher, this one's lower, this one's lower. It's kind of like a head and shoulders, which is representative of one sine wave. Makes sense. Shoulder, head, shoulder. What I would love to see is a gap up early today and a rip to 420. So we're up 1.5% today, and we fail really hard. Go to 420 and we drop. We have like a violent spike sometime Tuesday, and then we fail. We go straight down into the CPI. Ideally, I would love to see us touch that. I would love to see us fill this gap at 408 or hit this alarm at 409.14. I would love to see something like that. If you spike up early Tuesday, it would be on severe volume that looks extremely violent, and then we go lower the entire day into the close, which would be another bear trap equal to this. And the upper wick allows, which would be the momentum of the uptrend coming. So it would be a very specific looking move. You'd be able to tell what it is because you know what you're looking for. You would gap up over 2% on the CPI, and you wouldn't have to fill the gap. You just fill the upper wick and then you take off. Bear trap again, get fucked. So that's what I think is going to happen, because I really doubt it's just going to be easy. I really doubt it's just going to be easy. Let's look at the futures real quick. So look how nice this looks. We crashed into the 100, which I was expecting Monday or Tuesday. We crashed. We hit it, rejected, hit it, rejected, hit it, rejected, broke through it, and violently retested it on the jobs data. And we held. We have the 9 crossing the 100. Now look at this. That is an extremely bullish setup on the weekly, going into the 100 weekly and the 20 SMA. Extremely bullish setup. Both of these are support. We might see that. I would love to see a sell-off into Tuesday close at 408. I would love to see that. You get a lower wick into this. You get a double bounce off of support. Boom, boom. And if you get that activation, it is beelining it to at least 434 this week. 6.5% off the bottom. This week we'll get there, and I don't know how high we go. All I know is that we're going to rip. There are so many stocks set up to explode. They're all insane looking. Just look at every single ARK stock. Just every single meme stock. The meme started breaking out as expected. This is what I'm looking for this week. It's the opposite of this. We're looking at, if we don't get the kickback, then we just go straight up. We consolidate sideways and we just rip higher. Simple as that. I mean, you might get a sell-off on the CPI. You might sell off into this and then rip higher. I don't think that happens because we had a muted response on the last one. So if we have a lower CPI, which we should, because we have oil come down, food come down, and housing come down. So we'll see, definitely should see a lower CPI, and we should have a good reaction to it. We shouldn't have a lower CPI and the market sells off on it. That's just not how it works. Also, we talked about on stream, we didn't make a video for it because we were lazy, I believe, that we were expecting this to be a fake bear flag breakdown and then the reversal, because we hit the 364 glitch trade. So you're looking for something that's extremely volatile and an overextension to fuck people. And what was it? A perfect bear trap. Exploded into it, rejected, exploded into resistance, rejected into the double gap, and we sell off. What would you want to see? The breakdown of this bear flag, so the bears get trapped. It's a very clean move, and it's exactly what we got. exactly what we got. Really clean. Then we got the 9-to-1 up day, broke the downtrend. Also, if you have a bear flag breakdown, you don't want to see the big explosion happen here. You want to see that happen here. Why? Because it's wave dynamics. You want to see the coil slow one happen here, and then the big explosion happen here, because it's a stabilizer for the drop and a future up move. That is how bear flags happen. That's how downtrends happen. You get the big spiky spikes right before, just like this. Just like this, see? Comes down, meh, comes down, meh, comes down, boom, rolls over. That's how it works. We didn't get that. We got the opposite, and it was moving very, very weird. UVXY was going up these days while this was going up. That's not normal. UVXY shouldn't do that when you're having that, something like that. So something was very weird, and this looked exactly what it was exactly what it looked like, a bearish bullish move, that it was actually going up because it's kind of like a dead cat bounce, but a coiled one, which is more representative of a bottom rather than just a dead cat bounce. We're going to go up and then roll over again. Okay, anyway, let's see. And we could just go through this with like freaking everything, just easy peasy. The Qs broke their thing here. Everyone's looking at this. They're like, I can't believe the Qs just kind of like rolled right through this. So the Qs are set up on this. People on Apple were saying that Apple set up. So if you go like this, let's see. If you go like that and you have a midpoint between the two, it coincides perfectly with this line right here, and that we're touching it, and we got rejected right on it. So what you would love to see is possibly a retest of the 200 by Apple, which would put the S&P at 400, and then you want to see activation. So all it comes down to this week, and I'm just expecting a huge, massive explosion. We got AMC blowing out. We got GameStop about to break the God line, which has been massive support and resistance since forever. Okay, we stabilized above this. We talked about this months ago, stabilized up. The next time it comes around, it's going to blow through it. We are set up to blow. The only thing about this is that there's 5 green, 6, 7, 8 green days in a row. So I don't know. I would love to see like a gap up and then it goes red. It gets a red day before it goes up. Yeah. Let me see. Is this everything? We're talking about this. The bear flag, the glitch trade. Oh, stocks. I'm looking at, so check this. RNXT. Very degenerate type of stock. Keep your eyes out for it. They have earnings this week on the 12th. The last time on the 50th day of the daily that appeared, which was right here, November 4th, activated it right here, activated it, and then exploded up. So that's an activation on the 50. It has something to do with this always happens when you have moving averages appear. So on the 50th day, it's a major moving average. Now you're having the 50th on the weekly appear. Just appeared. What does that look like? What kind of candle does that look like? Does that look like an activation? Yeah, kind of does. Does that look like the DMI is about to curl up? Does it look like an earnings right there? So the 50 weekly just appeared. You're looking for a click. If this clicks, I don't know how high this can go. It looks like every single stock in the stock market right now. You could draw your trend lines. You could do this. Do whatever you want to do. It's right on the 0 line on Monday. I don't know what it does. If it chops until earnings, if the earnings is the trigger. But like every stock looks like this. It's just insane how many stocks look like this. I think safe bulkers here. You're getting a neutral print right here at support, and it touches the 0 line last week for the first time since the breakout here. And then you can go through like all the bulkers, any ones that look good for you if you're looking for any triggers. Possibly that's, I think, Tilray and all the derivatives, all the shitty stocks, the sundials and everybody, Canopy and everybody. You're getting a nice fat neutral print on GRWG right on earnings, and it looks like the DMI is about to start crossing soon. That is a huge candle. You're looking for an activator in all these stocks. I have calls 1 month out. I think Bitcoin breaks out this week. I think that's going to MACD cross. If not this week, then next week. But I do believe it'll happen this week. So some news will come out. There's altcoins on StockTwits trending all weekend because they're all breaking out. So the fervor, the insanity is starting to happen. We got all these stupid degenerate stocks, HKD, and I called ILEG at 2.5, but I don't have enough capital to buy all this shit. And we said how unbelievably bullish this setup is. And lo and behold, it just kept ripping. Of course, it kept ripping. This setup actually looks like it's going to end up going above 26. I'm not saying it's gonna. Like, if you bought it really low, you're Gucci. I may or may not chase this depending on how it happens. If it pops up and has like a violent drop, I'll hopefully try to get in position. But yeah, I don't feel good about chasing that. I think stocks like Space, it filled a gap. It's on the 0 line. It's destroyed. It's down 1,000,000%. I think this could start going up. I think DocuSign looks really good. It's on the monthly 0 line. I think this looks really good, like it wants to break out here. Let's keep an eye on DocuSign this week. Disney, no one's talking about Disney anymore. It's literally just fell off the face of the earth. People talking about Disney going like way below 100 now. Like Disney, and they're like, oh, the streaming thing, they're not as good or anything like that, as if like they weren't big on streaming before pandemic, and now you're at the, below the price of that, and now Disney Plus is nothing. Like, that's just BS bullshit type stuff. Dropped a solid 55%. I think we very well could see an activator on earnings. Be aware of that if you want anything. Fund Reports earnings this week. It had a huge gap here and then filled the gap, and now it's starting to go up. It's very rare to have a huge move like this, fill the gap, and then make another gap and go. It's very rare to do that. Usually you'd want to see a lot of volatility here. Like, so if it spiked, came back, and then spiked a third time, and then they're left a gap, and then that's fine. You don't need to fill the gap if it does something like that. But in this case, I think all gaps stay filled. So it's not going to just kind of gap up and run, but it's really setting up for something insane, which is coinciding with DWOC, which I also think that this could make a big run for it. I think the dollar we talked about, it had a bearish newsfeed in it, literally right here, and it still has a bearish newsfeed on it. Yep, July 18th, it's a bearish thing, and I think silver and gold could really start to rip going into this rally. Usually August gold does well, seasonality. I think biotech is starting to rip really big. It's just starting to break out. Looks really good. The stock Onvo had a huge bull flag here. Looks insane going into tomorrow with earnings. This 8 after the bell. This looks insane. Looks like a MACD cross. This would be a continuation wave of this, so that'll be an interesting thing to look for. LabU is the triple leverage biotech. Look how insane this looks. Be careful with that, and take care. JAGX got absolutely obliterated, and I think there's a lot of potential in this. We rode this literally 2,000% here. We sold a third at literally the top at 16, or wherever it was 12 and change, and sold the other 2/3 somewhere in here. It's actually annihilated. 98%. Like, you can't go any lower, and it's really activating like a lot. I really think this has the potential to go 8-9 before market. That is Tuesday morning. And just be aware of that. This had this very sharp spike here and then rolled over. This is something you do right before a major breakout. Very violent spike, and then rolls over quietly with still a bullish kind of setup. Very weird and awkward looking. So if this activates, get in on that. Get in on that. Yes, I know the stock is absolutely brutal, but you're not the one buying the tops. You're the one buying the bottom. People are absolutely lost everything. You didn't buy here, right? You're buying literally at the bottom. The risk reward here is huge. This stock moves hundreds, if not thousands of percent. So yeah. That's that. I'm super bullish on Meta. We have monthlies on this, and we bought weeklies last week, made some money. I am looking for this to absolutely just rip the next 2 months or so. Mara, Bitcoin in general, Coinbase reports. That's a trigger or a drop. I hope it drops. If it drops, that'd be a great buying opportunity for anything Bitcoin. Beyond Meat, definitely they got a $1 price target. A $1. Then people saying that Beyond Meat's going to go bankrupt. And then this happens. Okay, that is very, very, very sketch. Very, very, very sketch when something like that happens, where it's worth going for it. Right, so 822 calls we're looking for. It looks like this is going to touch on the DMIs, so you might get a nice little ripperoni here. Looking for that. I have Turtle Beach calls. They filled a gap right here going into this, and they got destroyed. They've been had so much bad news, down 70%. They've just got absolutely ripped over and over and over and over again. So many spikes, and filled the gap, and it's curling up and looks really good. I think it just absolutely rips on earnings. I don't think, but again, just like fun, it shouldn't leave a gap. They probably report earnings and it doesn't move. And then as soon as it opens, it takes off. Something like that, because you don't want to leave another gap. It's rare for it to do that. And look at the weekly. Look at the weekly. Does that not look like it's about to rip? It already crossed. That looks like it's about to rip. Touched oversold on the weekly. And yeah. So that's something. I have here calls. I have Palantir calls. We're coming in hot right here on the DMI cross for the first time since the cross in November. And it would make sense that we gap up, because everything from November that got crushed, like all the memes and arcs, are all reversing. So I will calls in this a month out with Turtle Beach and hoping for a pop here. We're 6 for 6 on earnings. Let's keep the ball rolling. Don't you fuck to me. There are so many stocks, guys, just absolutely insane, that I think are possible here. And it all starts with all this. I also think DGLY, our little baby here, I think that this thing is ready to rip these next 2 months with the rest of the market and the memes. This thing is going to absolutely rip face. It's going to be scary. So we're ready for that. Yeah, I made this video too long, but we got a lot of information out. The 10-year is now filling a gap. I would love to see that gap get filled and then roll over on Wednesday with the CPI, right? CPI comes down, you get a retest of this, maybe even 3%, you get a retest and it rolls over, retest the 50 or something. All gaps get filled and really, 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 really nice looking if that happens, and then rolls back over. We're looking for at least 2.4, and below 2.4, you start getting nervous, because then it's pricing in a recession, which I think happens next year, and you don't want to see the market roll over before the flash crash setup that we think is happening. Again, 4.34 in UVXY and the VXN glitch trade that happened. We're still not even close to it. We got time, baby. We got time, baby. We gonna rip and roll. Calls, baby. Run it up. Don't be shy. If you're scared, 2 months out or in the money, something like that. But this is not the time to be selling the rip. This is the most hated rally I've ever seen in my fucking life. The bulls hate it. They're selling into it. They are not buying far out of the money. They don't want to be in it. The bears still believe this is a bear market rally. They haven't even switched the position. They're buying puts every goddamn month, every week. Like literally no one's making money on this except a few people who are actually holding and buying big into this. It's amazing. Like we are. Okay, I might see a retest of this. I don't know exactly what the memes do next week. All I know is they're bullish. So you want to just take advantage of pew pew. It's guaranteed to break this on this run in the next 4 weeks. By the first week of September, we should break at least that. And depending on where it goes and everything, how it plays out, will determine how high it goes as well. So GG's everybody. I'm really, really, really excited. Come on, Palantir. Don't mess with me. I'm really excited. And yeah, trade nice this week. Don't get trapped. And yeah, have fun. Talk to you soon. Peace.